we do need to discuss the other elephant in the room. There's a lot of elephants in this room. Are we in a zoo?
Yes.
Yeah.
We bought a
Unfortunately.
zoo. We're Seahawks fans. And Matt
That's
Damon
right.
shoots
That's the definition of zoo. So yeah.
What kind of city zoo would we take? Cincinnati?
I've not been to the zoo in Cincinnati. I would say Chicago, Brookfield Zoo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that zoo's pretty nice too. Or here in
based
New York.
off of reputation alone, I'd say the San Diego Zoo's got to be on there.
Now I've been to that one, so that would be nice. That would be a nice
okay,
thing to have
okay.
happen. Yeah.
Nice.
I heard there's a certain news reporter that likes to go there from time to time.
Are we thinking about someone who wears pleats and and he has leather bound books?
News team,
Rich-
assemble!
Rich mahogany.
Why are we talking about the legend of the great Ron Burgundy?
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
It is.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, the first
It's
one.
still-
I did
it's
not
still a
see the
classic.
second one.
Yeah.
Don't see the second one; it was bad.
Yeah,
All
leave
right,
that
I
on the
will.
shelf.
Just leave that along with the Godfather Part 3.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay.
it was
Man.
Yes,
Oh, man.
please leave that in the dust, please.
It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, you cannot follow up to the greatest movies of all time with that
Thank
company.
you.
Yes. Yeah. The Godfather 1 and 2, perfect together. Perfect.
Ooh.
3.
You know, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to be in the house for like 12 hours straight, but
yeah.
It's like trying to make Shawshank 2. You can't do it.
you just
You can't do
can't.
it.
No.
Andy Dufresne, a man who wandered the Pacific. Andy Dufresne, a man who crawled through shit and piss just to get to the other side.
He was a Seahawk fan as well. No, I don't know.
God bless that man. Oh, Jesus. So, yeah, so that being said, we do need to talk about... do you guys want to talk about DK or Gino first? What do you want to do?
Well, let's go down the DK path because I didn't really get your thoughts on whether you thought Lockett's release impacted this at all.
So,
'Cause
DK's
they-
going to take up
they
a
are
whole
close.
segment.
They are close, and they are like and DK he requested it like Kevin said, same day.
Same day. Same
So,
day.
I feel personally that it has to have at least something to do with it. Something to do with it. Not all, but I feel like it's at least partially a thing. He finds out they're going to release Lockett. He goes, all right, I'm out of here.
See, here's the thing about the DK trade request. If the report is out there that the Seahawks are looking for at least a first and a third round pick.
Yeah.
For DK.
Which I don't believe they'll get.
The
Not
only reason.
Not when Debo gets a 5th rounder.
Yes. The only reason the other reason why DK requests a trade is to try and get leverage for a new contract. Which at this point, Seattle has next to nothing in terms of leverage at this point. He's going to get his extension. He's going to get it. Because, like you have pointed out, Dustin, several times, Jackson Smith and Jigba had the year he had this past season because DK Metcalf was damn near triple teamed.
Yeah. Yeah.
For majority of the season. And Lockett is no longer there. So add Bobo to the list, maybe add Cody White, or, Corbin Smith of Sports Illustrated said Amari Cooper could be an option. Robert Woods, maybe. I wouldn't hate Cooper, to be honest here.
No, I wouldn't, because he didn't work out in Buffalo the way they thought he would. I don't think so.
I thought
if
he
he
was gonna
can't
pan
work
out.
it in Buffalo with that quarterback, I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. But younger Amari Cooper has played with some pretty, as Ryan likes to say, execrable quarterbacks, and he's made it work. His season on the Browns with the ageless wonder Joe Flacco back there tossing him the rock, he did okay. He did okay, but who
Well,
knows?
it depends on what he wants.
Yeah.
Well, he's also in his 30s, So he's not going to get $20 million a year like he got from Dallas.
No.
That was like what, 5 years ago now, or
Yeah.
6 years ish,
six,
around
something
there.
like that. Yeah. So
But Amari Cooper is one of those guys he's younger than you think he is, because you forget the Raiders drafted him obscenely young when they picked him. What was it? Like they picked him like 4th overall or something crazy like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So
DK Metcalf has requested a trade. He's in the final year of a 3-year extension.
yep, I got that. Let's see. All right, DK Metcalf. Let's see. That's 31.8 million. Okay, cap space in 2025. 11 million before June 1st if they make some kind of move, and then 18 million afterwards.
So he's trying to get leverage for a new contract.
But he's not coming off a year that he could sit there and say, "Hey, give me," he didn't catch 100 balls. He didn't do any of that. As you point out, he was triple team, but still, the stats are what they are.
Yeah, he wasn't as dominant as he's been at points in other seasons, and I don't know if any of his like temperament has to do with it, but I
would think so.
I told Mr. Smooth in the green room before we started, I think what the Seahawks are doing, and I want to get both of your opinions on this, and I don't know how I turn this into like news anchor, like I got to get both of your opinions on this, gentlemen, but I feel like the Seahawks are bidding high. They are putting out an obscene asking price for DK Metcalf because they don't want to trade him. And they figure if we have to trade him, let's get a haul for him. And this way they can go back to DK and they can say, hey, we tried to honor your request, but we didn't find a partner. They're doing what is called in the construction business bidding high. That's what they're doing.
Yep.
Which I'm down with that because he's 27.
Yeah.
And he didn't have all the stats this year. He's 27. And he's a highly regarded wide receiver. You just can't give this guy away.
He's Julio Jones levels of talent.
Yes.
If you remember prime Julio Jones, ladies and gentlemen, that's who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But
Julio
faster.
Jones was a bad man back in the day.
He was. He was.
The Falcons. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really good with Atlanta. So I don't know. We've talked about Green Bay in our group.
Come on, we got to do better than Dobbs now.
Which I wouldn't mind Dobbs or Dontavian Wick as long as they get a receiver back.
Yeah, I mean Dontavian Wicks. No, I'd much of those two options. I'd much rather have Dobbs if it's got to be
better route runner.
Yeah.
But
which we just lost we released one of the greatest route runners. That was Tyler Lockett's strong point, his route running.
And
right. That's why I was able to do toe tapping receptions in the end zone because he could run right to that spot and not worry about being out of bounds.
Yeah. Why do I feel like he's going to go to the Raiders?
It just makes sense. That's why. It just makes sense.
I think it's.
Well, at least they're not in the same division as the Seahawks anymore. So I can,
thank God.
Yeah. And so, I don't hate the Raiders.
Smiles in 2002.
Right? Yeah. I don't hate the Raiders years past. But, there's no – I can't warm up to them, okay?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. But I think, depending on who you ask, they're either going to trade him or they're going to sign him to an extension. Either or is going to happen.
Okay, yeah.
So if you don't get what you're looking for, I say, hey, DK, you can pack sand because we are not giving you away.
Oh, Dustin, I told you this answer, but Kevin, I want you to guess who was the last Seahawk player to be given a 5-year extension.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's right.
Take a guess.
5-year extension. Russell Wilson.
No. Same era.
Same era. Okay. Tyler Lockett.
It was a receiver.
Wow. Okay.
I guessed. Do you want to hear who I guessed, Kevin?
Go
I
ahead.
guessed.
Who'd you
Go ahead.
guess?
I guessed T.J. Hushmanzada.
Okay.
I was wrong.
I'm going to go with Baldwin. How about that?
Do you want to know who it was?
Go
yeah,
ahead.
Percy Harvin.
that's right.
Holy, you talk about
I know.
Percy Harvin was the last
oh.
Seahawk to be given a 5-year
If
extension.
there was ever a reason never to do that again, Percy Harvin would be example A plus to that.
5 years, $67 million
Man.
was the contract.
They should have gave him, let's call it $6,700 for the kickoff return,
Yeah.
and the rest of it,
Yeah.
hit the bricks.
Just for that.
Yeah,
Just
just
for
for
that.
that. That's fine. We'll give you, season tickets or whatever. And but beyond that, you can hit the bricks.
But yes, that is the last
Wow.
Seahawk player to be given a 5-year extension.
Wow.
My prediction is that John Schneider finally breaks and says, hey, we will give you a 5-year deal. I think DK, because let's be honest here,
Mm-hmm.
DK is the face of your franchise.
He is now, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, he has been the face of the franchise for a few years now.
He is, you bring up a good point. You bring up a good point because back in I'm reading because I read at a glacial pace, but I'm reading Winning Time, the rise of the 1980s Los Angeles Lakers. And it's talking about the old basketball where they would say, the intro graphics where they'd be like Magic Johnson in the Los Angeles Lakers take on, and then they'd say like the main star of the team. And Shaquille O'Neal has been, he admitted in that documentary, if you haven't watched it, check it out, about the Orlando Magic. He admitted that back when he was younger, he needed it to be Shaquille O'Neal in the Orlando Magic face, not Penny Hardaway in the Orlando Magic face. And DK Metcalf reminds me right now, he's who you would put forward. It would be now.
He is.
DK Metcalf and the Seattle Seahawks take on. He's got that status with the team now. I think
there's no beast mode anymore, any of that stuff. And
Jimmy Graham, yeah.
Speaking of beast mode, I have to bring this up because there's a movie that he's in. I mentioned it to you guys that he's the bad guy, one of them in it. And in the movie, he actually yells out beast mode.
I love him. I love that man so much.
That's such a classic right there.
I love him so much. I love Marshawn so much.
Yeah. And I was like, beast mode. And I had to
put him in the Hall of Fame just as a character, like in the WWE.
For sure.
Speaking of, Lex Luger's finally getting in the Hall of Fame. Anyway,
oh man, yeah.
Finally. Took him long enough.
And I hope DDP is able to figure something out. What if DDP gets Lex Luger walking again? What a thing that would be.
That'd be phenomenal.
Kidding me? It'd be the greatest ad for DDP yoga ever. But
phenomenal.
But as we do, we've gotten off the rails here. But
as we usually do,
you hit it right on the head. He's the face of the franchise.
Literally, so you have to sign him.
Right.
You got no leverage. You got no leverage.
He's 27. Just get it done. Hold your nose. Whatever it is you have to do.
Yeah.
And keep him. And tell Dobbs, you could stay in the frozen tundra. And
the other thing that benefits a trade is that the wide receiver by committee type of team building that you're seeing a lot more in today's league. And a perfect example, Kansas City. Yeah. Who's the number one receiver?
Well, I think part
besides
of that
Xavier Worthy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I think part of Kansas City's issue this year was they had their number one at the beginning of the season. He got hurt. I think
Rice.
I think if Rashid Rice doesn't get hurt, he's their guy.
Talk about a car crash of a season.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It was too easy.
That was. There was no heavy lifting. There was no heavy lifting coming off of that.
It was low-hanging fruit. Come on.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Yeah, DK Metcalf requests a trade. Where is he going? Probably the Raiders, maybe the Packers. Who knows? Maybe it's an extension.
Please, I would, if he goes
5 years, 150.
if he goes to the Chiefs, that would be the worst because there's interest. There has been interest from the Chiefs in DK Metcalf for multiple seasons.
Well, there should be.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
One more.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I elicited quite a reaction from you.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
Last one.
What you have done has made God very unhappy.
That one's deserved.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So, yeah. Oh, boy. I'm just... predictions. Or trade predictions, anyone? What do you got? If a trade does happen. If a trade happens, let's be honest.
If a trade does happen, well...
Watch him trade him in division to Arizona.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Jr.
Oh, man. That would
No, you talk about, you'd be ready to pull all the Seahawks jerseys out of the closet and bury them in the backyard. You could start that parade right there if that's what they did.
Buried in horse manure.
That's right.
But I don't think,
No, they're not going to do that.
For Marvin Harrison Jr., though?
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr., if we had to get somebody back, I'd be okay with Marvin Harrison Jr. I'd be more than okay. And whoever we have at quarterback, that's called a tease, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever we have at quarterback will be able to figure out how to get the ball to him better than Kyler Murray said. When Kyler Murray said this past season, it's not my job to get him the ball. It is very much your job to get him the ball, Kyler. That's why you're there.
Yeah.
You talk about
that's why you're there, not playing Call of Duty.
Yeah. When you talk about people that are tone deaf, that's example number one right there.
Yeah.
You know what Kyler Murray reminds me of? He reminds me of a pouty child. And that's not a short joke. That's just being obvious.
Yeah, I'm a short man, but Kyler Murray, I am not for a myriad of reasons. I do not have.
Kyler Murray looks like 5'2". He looks 5'2", but he's like 5'8".
Yeah. He
unbelievable crap.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really have a prediction other than Green Bay.
Well,
there seems to be interest on both sides, and supposedly Green Bay really wants him. And he's mentioned Green Bay as a potential destination. Well, supposedly people in his camp. Because I remember even seasons past, Green Bay and Kansas City were both interested in Metcalf, both inquired. Green Bay has been the only one sniffing around this time that we know of, but there's supposedly multiple teams. But I don't really have a prediction because I think the asking price is too high. I don't think anybody pulls the trigger. If that's what the Seahawks are asking, I don't think anybody does that.
Well, just the fact he's 27 years old, I'm not going much beyond that asking price. I mean, if he was, 30, okay. He's 27. Sure. He's got big years still left in him.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I'm DK Metcalf, what is the attraction to Green Bay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 32 degrees below zero, you can have all that.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And in Seattle, it's, it rains a lot, whatever, but it's not 32 degrees below zero.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't have a no trade, does he? He doesn't have a no trade.
No,
clause.
NFL players really don't have that.
Yeah, they don't have.
They're not baseball. Okay,
it's very rare that you get a no trade clause in the NFL.
Yeah,
it's very rare.
I didn't think so, but I'm like, he can't really decide his destination.
Just about every player in Major League Baseball has that.
Yeah, they have one.
That's because they've got a much more powerful union, though. So,
and the NBA, they've got them a lot too. But yeah, I just don't. Green Bay is the only one that's shown legitimate interest as far as paying that potentially paying that price that the Seahawks are reportedly asking.
Yeah.
And you guys are in New York, but I heard that just earlier today that one of the destinations might be the Giants.
Huh?
Wow. I mean, I will say, though, if it's the Giants, one, who's going to throw them the ball? Because they lost out on Stafford. They wanted Stafford. They were looking with that line, Stafford would have been killed. He would have been there would have been legitimate concerns about him. But I do have to say, I could see the Giants' method to the madness. You put DK on one side and Malik Neighbors on the other. I mean, forget it. One of them's getting the ball.
Well, I could see that, but I'm saying, why would DK want to go there?
Yeah,
to cut you guys off,
understand.
Hawk blogger Brian Nemhauser of hawkblogger.com and the Real Hawk Talk podcast threw out a possible DK Metcalf trade scenario to the Raiders. Seahawks get Raiders' second-round pick, number 37, third-round pick, 73. Raiders get DK Metcalf and a fourth-round pick, 137.
Not doing it. Not doing it.
Someone also said the Seahawks should trade DK Metcalf for the Raiders' second-round pick, 37, and tight end Michael Mayer. Still no.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
Until the Seahawks figure out how to use a tight end, that's a no-go.
Yeah, and plus the only tight end in the Raiders would not do this, but the only tight end I would take back is Brock Bowers.
Which they're not doing that.
Yeah, no, they'll never do that, but that's the tight end you want. If you're going to dangle DK, Brock Bowers is the thing, and you just say, okay, we'll forget the picks, or we'll do a couple late round swaps, and we'll go after Brock Bowers. That's
correct.
But
correct. But it's controlled chaos.